thing that pops up,
Yeah,
right?
saying
Like, you know,
sending data. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm watching it. YouTube is online. Facebook, Genesis Battle Champion is online.
Yeah.
Just on this side.
Turn off sound on my phone.
I want a browser on this window over here. Now this all goes down. There we go. Now I can pop up stuff and do research. I shall.
And your pop-up stuff showed up.
Just for a second. That's okay. Should be.
Yeah.
It should be the card pitch contest now. Chat. 3 connected over here. Genesis just went live now. 3 connected over here.
Just to make sure the chat works.
Genesis just went live now. 3 connected over here.
Just to make sure the chat works.
Okay, I have double checked. They can hear you. That's good. Well, I could hear you in watching the stream, so.
All right, perfect.
Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, stuff's popping up everywhere. OBS, where is you, OBS? There it is. What's this? Hello. Joseph, it is exploring the library. We shall be going over the contest and current applicants? Posts? What's a better word for this?
Yeah.
Oh, I just broke my headset. I can't hear anything right now. Fix that. Test, test. Say something for me, Sid.
Test, test. How's everyone doing?
What contest? What contest, Joseph? Well, a card pitch contest. If you check out our Facebook page, if I was good, I'd have the link for you, but I'm not.
For the group? Do you want me to throw that up in the chat?
Throw that in the chat. Joseph, we're doing a contest where you can sign up and pitch a card for Genesis the card game.
Yeah, I'm just trying to share the
Yes, Steve, I am
video
live. You can see me. Because while there might be some nice motion in this front video here, following plates will be just a lot of text for some of them. Some of them didn't even give pictures, so it's just text. So I figured to get to see something, you get to see this beautiful face, obviously.
Obviously.
Obviously. How is the sound for you guys? What's the name?
It's kind of nice that I don't have to spend so much time like dealing with all the technical stuff. You can do you could do the hosting. I'll deal with the chat and everything.
Sid should be posting a link to the contest. Hopefully dropping soon for you there, Joseph.
What stream is he on? Twitch, Facebook, or
he's
YouTube?
On YouTube.
Okay, let's jump into that.
Hi, Adam. Thanks for joining. We haven't gotten to play much D&D, but if we play this week, I was going to tell you guys about the pitch contest. Don't know if you've been following Adam. Genesis, we're doing a pitch contest where you can pitch your own cards that might be produced in an upcoming set. Sid is about one notch volume too loud.
You can lower my volume on your end.
I could. Just turn the decibel down, the desktop audio a little bit. Alright. Sid, say a bunch of stuff, and then Steve, tell me how the sound is. now?
I think we should be more or less ready to start soon, aren't we? If the sound's good, then I got it up in the YouTube channel and on the Facebook channel, the link to the card pitch contest landing page.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go there, register. You still have until the end of the week to pitch ideas. We have a lot of people watching today. That's pretty awesome.
Better, you both are more equal. All right, I posted the link on Restream, so that should just send it to everywhere. The one place we're missing. There we go.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's funny because we had so many nights before when we were doing a live stream and literally no one came out to watch. Now we're getting like a good number of people watching. So
fair enough.
It's a good feeling.
For all of you guys that are joining, if you've just posted some new pitches or it wasn't on the appropriate spots, such as the Facebook, or if it wasn't on the Facebook or the Reddit yet, they will not be reviewed in this video. But I assume we'll be doing a review video. Or to be fair, I don't think we've actually planned out the next step. Trust me, guys. So we're professionals. We know what we're doing.
Well, so this week is the last week to pitch ideas. Next week, we'll actually start narrowing down the selections. So this stream is all about kind of helping the people who have pitched ideas already and then giving them a chance to get some early feedback, basically.
There you go.
And then next week, we'll start narrowing things down and we'll eventually get to a point where, we'll announce who the winner is. But I think the next two streams will spend some time just kind of narrowing things down and also giving ideas. If your idea is being cut, what you could have done to reinforce that. So
that's fair. All right, if you are ready to go, it's a little bit early, but we got a lot of slides to go into. Should we start moving on?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Oh, I gotta remember how this works. All right. So I sort of shortened the name, so I won't have everybody's name up there. Just usually shorten them. So this is created by AY, and it will have all the cards that AY has posted so far. I'll just give a read through, and then me and you can go over it. Okay, putting myself out there with this one. This is my champion pitch. That is a D&D crossover and PC inspiration to my new game shop. I will follow up with additional pitches that support champion with common actions and spells with the flavor of the champion, which includes push, stun, desperation, resistance, and heavy attack. Please go easy on the sketch artwork. No, I refuse. You can do better.
I was gonna say, start off seriously, it's not that bad.
It's
for initial sketch art, yeah, we get the concept. This is one really empowering character. I love it. I think the art itself is definitely very solid.
I'd also say I think it is in general the best or the closest thing to a Genesis card submitted.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of solid attributes to this.
All right, I put two pictures here because there's an older one and a newer one posted. So we also get to look at how it's already developed.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to say straight off the bat is that we didn't say this, and so we're not gonna hold it against anyone, but our intentions were not for people to submit champions. It was, and it's not that we don't want to hear about your champions. It's more about we want to first focus on kind of easier things, which are building spells, techniques, summons. And then also we were thinking about the idea of champions are, when you win the championship, you kind of get to submit your champion idea. That being said, I still want to go into this. It's a cool concept. I think it's really great. So let's talk about, I guess, do we want to talk about the original or just jump into the revised version?
Well, they're roughly about the same. So we can we'll go to the revised version because otherwise, health the exact same. Wow. Ida got an aura boost. Just noticed this. Sneaking on in an aura boost to go along with her 32 HP. 3 energy. Just a forward awareness. Bellum Thymos. Ida is a spirit, human, fighter, alien visitor. She's got a lot going on.
Yep.
She's got a swift, guided strike to exert. I don't know what guided strike is yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't say so on the card. But I'm just gonna assume that this is a basic attack too. for now.
Yeah, that's where I would come from.
An action for practice defense. Exert and for energy. A shimmering field pulsates from the shield. Champion blocks all damage. Actually, if we look to the older one, it says prevent all damage dealt to Ida until end of round. So weirdly enough, I think the older one has the better wording here.
I'm pretty sure that what you're saying is the older one might be the newer one.
You are right. That is the newer one. You are actually...
Yeah.
No, I'm unsure. I'm just going to leave it to... One of these is an older one. One of them is a newer one. It doesn't matter.
All right. So comparing the two, prevent all damage dealt to this champion to end of round. Okay. That's very, very solid. Very strong. And then we got Spectral Form as the last piece there.
Yeah.
So when Ida's life falls below 5, she turns spectral, becomes spectral. So are we assuming the same spectral mechanic from other Genesis cards?
Yeah. If it's a term that we've already used, it's not a new ability, especially if they didn't explain it, which is interesting. I kind of like that, especially because it's such a specific HP. What are your thoughts?
Okay. So it's so hard critiquing these things because I don't want to. I know that a lot of these ideas that are submitted from everyone comes from a place of passion and a place of excitement. So I definitely taking that, putting it aside. My first initial thought is, whoa, that HP and the energy reductions are just way too high to have both of those in combination.
We told them that the stats didn't matter, that we would work with them to adjust them as they made it up the thing. So I'm not too stuck up on that, for sure.
That's fair. I think overall, it's an interesting champion. It's definitely that heavy defensive type of champion. It's one of those ones that if someone in the game design team pitched something like this, I would have my reservations, but my first thought would be like, go test it.
Yeah.
Just take it to the community, see how it looks in Future League. It definitely needs some tweaking. I think the combination of just the spectral form concept might be a little bit on the powerful end.
Yes, for sure.
But practice defense, at first, I was like, oh, this is super powerful. Then I realized it's action speed.
Yeah.
And then it makes me almost think, is this even playable?
So the interesting about this is that it actually is a very powerful champion on the play, because you can blow your attack, your other abilities, then activate it. Oh, but the one thing that you do lose is you won't be able to basic attack, because it is an exert cost. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's an interesting champion to balance around. I would be super curious. Now, being Bell and Thymos, you do have some access to some interesting moves. Like you can bolt shot like crazy, get into a good position, bolt shot like crazy, or do something that's super vulnerable, and then just go into your defensive mode.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities for this, especially with a card like Hurricane Sweep, where you want to be in the thick of things. But now damage prevention, there's going to be a lot more HP loss cards coming out soon.
That's true. That's very true.
Preventing damage isn't super powerful. It's definitely going to be weakening in value. I think my biggest concern there is a spectral form.
Fair enough.
Especially once you get through all that HP, bring them down to 5. At that point, are you hitting with non-attack abilities? Not a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it could definitely stand still certain games. But again, it's one of those ones. I would not reject this. I would definitely tell the designers, take it out for testing.
My designer brain is going off right now. I'm not going to go more because I don't want to influence your creative design with what I would add to this. But let's move on to the next one. We got a lot to go through.
Yep.
If it's working, here we go. All right, so this is just a little block of text. These are 5 different cards. Thymos Determination. This is going to be the top left awareness. It is a technique, 4 chi, swift. It is a push that costs 4 energy. The champion moves target to a spot in Determination's awareness. So this is technically not a push. A push is currently within Genesis is specifically just goes one spot away from you. But that's okay. Yeah. Lingo, we can adjust. And easy stuff. Execute for technique. Cast for spells. Is an easy fix to anything, and then it can be adjusted from there for you guys. Obviously, if it's an attack, just do basic attack or whatever attack elemental type you want. So, how do you feel about this awareness and being able to move people around like crazy? A super malicious persuasion.
I think at the end of the day, it's clean. It's a clean card. It just needs to be tested. Mechanic-wise, there's nothing about here that screams like, "Oh no, don't do this." It's more about how do we get that right cost on it? Because that is the same cost as malicious persuasion.
Yeah.
And the same chi. So it's like, how do you get the right balance? Maybe if you up the chi, you like to 5 chi, you might be able to get away with this. It does not belong in the 6 chi slot, but you might be able to get it to 5 chi for like 5 or 6 energy, just because it does allow for a lot.
Yeah. Sure.
And we've seen how powerful malicious persuasion is. It becomes a staple in summoners who play chaos. So, yeah, at the end of the
there's
day,
a flaw here. I found a flaw here. So we don't actually have who the target is.
The word smithing, I'm not too worried, but a champion moves target to spot and
So is this anybody in the word? That's my question. That's my thoughts. Is somebody in those 4 spots allowed to move? You move them to another spot, type thing. So
the way this
we're losing
is
a little
worded,
intention on what they want here. Yeah.
The way this is worded, it almost feels like you're grabbing someone from any spot on the board and bringing them within one of those 4 spots. And that has been intense.
So if this is your card, and you better be watching, because I don't know if this is being recorded. Probably not. I don't think we mentioned this. Sid's away, so we're using my computer today. This is not being recorded, so you better be here if this is for you.
No, so the recording will live there on Facebook or YouTube, and we can link back to it. If this is my big tip for this particular card. Wording is key. Like, move target champion summon within card names awareness to another spot in card names awareness. Like, you want to say, you want to think about the subject, the verb, and the object of the ability. Who's doing it? Who are they doing it to? What are they doing, right?
Yeah.
And making sure you're clear on all those motions. All right, let's move on to Shield Bash.
Shield Bash. Technique, 4chi, swift. Basic attack 1, cost 3 energy, trigger, stun. If a champion or someone is dealt damage to Shield Bash, they cannot move or rotate this round.
Stun.
Simple.
Yeah.
Isn't this just Gut Punch?
It is. It is literally Gun Punch.
This card already exists. That's okay. Which means that we are good at that. That you want to design cards that already exist. That's not a bad thing. Not at all.
Yeah. Nope.
They're gonna move on. Thymos Falling Hammer technique, 5 chi. Action, heavy attach. I think it's going to be heavy attack. Heavy attack 3. Cost 4 energy. Trigger, desperation. If you are at HP or less, then you deal an additional 3 damage to a target in Falling Hammer's awareness. I assume that exert. It says
this
exert.
is Whip Smash.
It is like a Whip Smash. Yeah, it's like a hyper mega Whip Smash. 1 chi less.
Yep.
2 damage more, 1 energy less.
We don't have we do have an awareness. So it's a close awareness. It's the numbers are a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's essentially Whip Smash.
For sure. So the concept this is fine. Obviously the numbers are so extreme to our formula, but that's fine. That's something we would work with. Otherwise, what are your thoughts on it?
Again, I like Whip Smash, and I would love to explore a more playable, more meta-relevant Whip Smash.
Mm-hmm.
I think what JC had there as an initial concept was amazing. We were too conservative in the effect. And now with what we're working with some of the stuff in Future League, we now have the ability to say things like Desperation, if you're at 8 HP or less, card names Heavy Attack 3 ability becomes Heavy Attack 6.
Yeah.
and now it works the way we originally intended Whip Smash to work. And then you can play with the numbers a little bit more. It's a little bit cleaner. I think overall, I would love to see a more playable version of Whip Smash.
That's fair. Dude, well, I think these aren't actually attack. Are these attach? I just realized they all say attach, and now I'm unsure. I'm going to continue with this heavy attack. I think I'm just overthinking it. Thymos,
I think there's some stuff coming in from the comments, just to take a small break there. Because I saw Jeffrey put something. I know it's early still, but are you guys married to the one only, or my 2 submission were in further development?
Oh no, Jeffrey, you can submit up to 10. Yeah. 10 submissions.
Yep.
Don't quit now.
Yeah, we want to hear all the ideas. Actually, I'm loving how many ideas are out there. So, all right, let's get into Pierce. Or is there more comments? I am not checking all the channels. I'm just checking Facebook
it's
right now.
Pretty. Steve was saying that it's not a push; it's a relocate. Correct, Steve.
Yeah.
Gravwave said in awareness was, I think, what he intended. Jeffrey, if it already exists, then it's a perfect design. Well, actually, he reduced the cost of the energy by 1. So he's saying our design isn't better. He knows better than us. I'm kidding. All right. Sean says I have 10. I'm piecing them out. Oh, yes, that I know. I mean, will you grab multiple people, or are you looking for only one person to win the contest? That's to be determined. If I love all your things, maybe I'll just grab... I can grab all these cards. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll plan to whittle them down. Yeah. We're gonna whittle them down.
Some nitty-gritties
making it
later on in the stream. We'll get to some of the nitty-gritties about that contest. Because there are some things that have been talked about on Discord. I want to consolidate that information tonight a little bit. But yeah. All right. Let's jump into Piercing Blow.
All right. Piercing Blow, technique, 5G, action, heavy attack, 3, cost 3 energy, and exert. You deal 3 heavy damage to a target in Piercing Blow's awareness. Image of a war pick, sidearm attack. I think you undercut yourself. This costs 3 energy and an exert for 3 damage, and it's action.
Yeah. Oh,
you can do better. Yeah. You can do better. But this is just a basic thing, so yeah, we could. There's no reason why it couldn't work within Genesis.
Now, if you're straight out turning that into just exert cost, and making this into a, you draw it and it's to replace your built-in attack for the move, it's definitely solid. I like the awareness on this, the left, right, forward. It does give you some more versatility. Yeah. I think either look into dropping the cost or increasing the speed. I want to see this as Swift, to be honest. I would love to see this replace something like, Sideswipe.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say for this Piercing Blow, this is actually the 4th awareness. This is the 4th ability.
4th.
Yeah. Whoa, we're jumping. 4th ability. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just forward right now for this one.
Oh, your thing's covering.
Oh, yeah, my camera is in the way. There you go. Right there at the top. Sorry about that.
All right, so
let's move on to Divine Right. Our first enchantment. All right, 6G. Action to attach Divine Right as a skill. Trigger, negate all holy damage caused by stack. Unless opponent champion chooses to take 5 holy damage. Ida is in the battle, but it's with a glowing figure with one hand on her shoulder and light radiate outward. Radiant light causing physical pain to enemy. I'm actually kind of confused about this one. Why? What is your goal? I'm going to ask you, what is your goal? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say holy damage is... I guess you got Angel, so that's there. It's very specific. Very specific. I would try to broaden yourself more in your design space.
Yeah, especially at 6G.
Yeah.
This is something, actually, I learned this from Alex, is a lot more of like what cards belong in different G slots. And when I see this and I'm looking at a 6G card, I'm looking at, all right, you're now comparing this. If you're playing Bellum, you're comparing this to Hurricane Sweep. Mm-hmm. So this, if I'm pulling out Hurricane Sweeps to put this in, it needs to give me something that's a lot more playable, a lot more situations. And Holy isn't that prominent in the game. None of the single attributes are very prominent in the game.
I think Steve has a comment here, which is correct. I think we might be reading it wrong. Because this is an enchantment. So this is really what it's saying is immunity to holy damage unless an opponent takes 5 damage whenever they play an ability to do the holy damage to you. But still, it's very specific. So we'd have to be doing I would say if this card was to be produced in Genesis, there would have to be very much a holy theme in the set for this to be produced. Yeah. Let's move on.
I agree.
Oh, mouse, you can do it. All right. What? Oh, these are still his. It's just he changed up his style. I think we're going on to summons here. Maybe.
Okay.
Card 1, Dream Spirit. Native North American. Summon creature at swift speed. So I think this is just more thematic than actual abilities there. Yeah.
Sold.
Image of Spirit
Love
Guides.
it. Like,
yeah. Perfect.
we need more summons at swift speed. So my thing, whenever a game designer pitches an idea like this, when they're going outside the norm of awareness, outside the norm of speed, outside the norm of a summon, my question is always why? It's not there to be a trick question. I'm not there to stump you. I want to know, are you picking this attribute for a given reason? So like Chrono Walker needs swift speed, otherwise decoy doesn't work. Ajna Tiger needed swift speed to make it different than Baruch, right? Yeah. So then you can compare those two cards. If you're just creating a basic summon for swift speed, my big question is why? What is the big motivating factor here? But if it is just to, I just want to see what a faster summon looks like in the game, I would explore it. Mm-hmm. But I need a little bit more oomph in a card. But I could see this as a solid 4-chi summon swift speed to see what it does.
Yep. Card 2, Mark of the Wilds. It is not specified what type of card this is. It could be a spell, could be a technique, could even be enchantment. All techniques cost -1 energy. An image of a radiant glowing tattoo, annual imbuement.
Yep.
1, 2, and 3 are all enchantments. So he's saying, so Dream Spirit is actually enchantment. He turns all your creatures into going from action speed to swift speed back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for these ones, before we go to, is Friday our deadline?
Yep.
I would clean those up, make sure that we know that these are enchantments. Because when it gets to Friday and we're like, what are these? They're probably going to go to the bottom of the list if we don't know what the cards are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, if you were to write, this could be an enchantment, a spell, or a technique, that leaves it very open, and then it allows our minds to be like, oh, well, now we see so much potential out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm both telling you to do that and not do that. That's
clarity. That's what we excel at here.
All right, let's move on. Mark of the Wild. All techniques cost -1 energy. I'm fine with it. It's pretty, as an enchantment, simple, clean, understandable. Yep. Animal Instinct. Champion does +1 damage against summons. Same thing, clean, simple. It's not very broken because it only hits summons. Mm-hmm. So I can see this actually quite low in Chi. Because it's very specific on how it works. Axon Summon. 6 Chi. Beckon. 18 aura cost. In Pandulu. African Pondo, Zulu, and Zosha Folklore. HP 3. Attack, Lightning, Storm. 2 damage to everything in target awareness. The 4 corners. Summon in the center. Yep. So the diagonal 4. Trigger 1 HP for each summon killed. No HP cap. Well, there's always no HP cap in Genesis. As of yet. That could be a card. The cards, for some reason, have caps. But a bird as big as a human, showering lightning as Kendra laughs with the hands high with electricity, discharge, and summons lay dead around them.
Grim.
Grim, I was enjoying it. I thought that was fun. I think the HP's low, so I get it. This is a Rompo, right?
Rompo. It has the Rompo ability in there.
Yeah, AoE Rompo, low damage for a 6-chi, low HP for a 6-chi, wonky awareness.
Yeah.
For this type of ability. Because you have to set up the diagonals to try to hit multiples with this AoE. So I would think about your awareness for this, because it might be very hard to hit things. However, otherwise, design-wise, perfect. Concept-wise, totally doable. Those are same things. Technically, awareness to me is a stat that can be adjusted.
Yeah. Looking at it from that sense, again, the purpose of this stream is to just go in here and talk about, hey, you pitched an idea. This is what's missing for us to take it down a little bit deeper into the elimination process. So yes, Alex is right. For the first three, clarify that these are enchantments. Clarify. I think that's the only thing that really needs to be clarified for the first three. For the summon, I think everything's there. Attack, lightning storm, 2 damage to everything in target's awareness, in card name's awareness.
Yeah. We had a comment from Jeffrey. He's gonna send us completely blank cards that says it can be anything.
Deal. I have like 5 boxes of completely blank cards.
All right, let's keep moving on. I think mostly the summon's fine. It would just be stats adjustment from there. All right, moving on to SV's ideas. We had 5 from him. I do like how easy this was for me to just pull up because it was just an image for me to paste. That's just more not a requirement, but it's cool.
Actually, going back for a second, one thing I do want to mention about those last few abilities, I really appreciate that you're giving us the information of the mythologies that you're digging into.
Yes.
Your mythology, your idea for the artwork, even if we can't do it exactly like that because maybe for one reason or another, I still very much appreciate that you did the research and you told us about it. That, like, when I saw SV's ideas, that's the same thing. When he showed that image of the jeweled Beguiler, I was like, that's solid. Like, thank you so much. That's what I want. I want more detail, not just about the card, but the research that you're doing.
All right, let's start with the Jeweled Beguiler since you brought it up. Jeweled Beguiler, it is a 5 chi with 2 health. Awareness is forward, affiliation phage, action beckon, 15 aura, swift, range attack 1 exert, continuous flight. If Jeweled Beguiler deals lethal damage to an enemy summon, sacrifice Jeweled Beguiler and place a copy of enemy summon from your subconscious onto the same spot facing the same direction as JB was. This copy is under your control. This copy has decay. I like it. I think it's really hard with attack 1 to steal a summon.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I like it.
Conceptually, I think it's beautiful. I would just say there's a lot going on. See if you can scale it back when it comes to what it's doing. I would even push this as far as being like, can you get rid of the decay part of it? Yeah, just to get rid of some text, right? I agree.
I understand he put it on there as like a balancer, but the balancer is that you had to kill the summon. You already did the work.
Yep.
Why are you punishing yourself?
Yeah.
Let's move over to Overwhelming Pulse. 7 chi, awareness around, affiliation Bellum, action cast, 22 aura. All champions and summon around you are pacified until end of round. If any summons are exerted, they are destroyed instead of pacified.
So, my note on this is I love how clean this card is.
Yeah,
there's so much going on, but at the same time, so few words are being used. There's really clean harmony in this card. So I want to see if you can pitch more ideas like this, golden. But then my other side to it is chi, costs, all those balancers. It needs testing, but outside of that, like, kudos.
Okay, I'm going to jump all the way to the left with the very squished one. Aura Crystal, I'll read this for you guys because I don't know if you guys can see it. A Chi 4, Affiliation J, HP 4. It is an alteration. So action, create. It is 5 aura and 3 energy. Confused why it's costing energy here, but that's okay. Continuous, it has Spectral. AC cannot be targeted by an attack ability. Trigger, Pulse of Aura. At the start of the round, any champion on or around AC may reveal the top card of their timeline to gain X aura, where X is that card's chi. Trigger, Aura Discharge. If AC is destroyed, deal 5 damage to everything on or around the spot in the arena it was destroyed on. Conceptually, I love this, but I don't actually think you thought of this being used as a weapon. Placing it down right beside an opponent, blowing it up right away, dealing 5 damage to everything.
That's fair. That's fair. But you're hitting it for 4, and then it explodes for 5. Unless you can get 10 damage out of it, I don't know if it's worth the effort. But if you can get 10 damage out of it, then yeah.
Well, it's AoE, so it's, as long as they're beside a summon, you're gonna get that value. That's my thoughts there.
You have to do 4 range damage because you don't want to be beside it.
Yes, that's true. So then the next question would be why is this spectral? Because your flavor, it's just a crystal. Giving aura. I think the pulse of aura is really cool. It's balanced that you didn't just set a number. It's that the player's gonna sit there and it's from their deck. I like that design around. So my places to look at would be also why is it aura and energy? That's kind of weird that it's both. I don't understand why it is spectral. And then I would just pay attention to the aura discharge, that it can't be used too much to the advantage like that. Because I don't think that's the intention of this card.
I see this as it's 2 separate cards. Aura Discharge could be its own card, the Aura Discharge Spectral card, and then the Pulse of Aura card. It does one thing about alterations that I love is that it has the King of the Hill effect. You want to be near it, and you don't want your opponent near it. That's awesome. But again, it's the why. Why is there so many mechanics? Why are you combining all these things? You need to be able to take that step back. Overall, I think great. Just maybe simplify it. Yeah.
All right, let's go over to the Golem manual. This is an enchant/equipment. 6 chi, affiliation, Axon, chaos, awareness, nah. Action, enchant/equip. 10 aura and 4 energy. Again, you seem to like these hybrids. This is just a book. I guess you're conjuring it and then reading it. I guess that makes sense in that instance. Trigger, create, summon. At the end of the round, you may place a golem token adjacent to you. Oh, I kind of blocked off reading this. Whoops. Facing the same direction with an exert token on it. If you do, place the top 2 cards on your timeline into your memories. The golem token starts with health equal to the first card's chi, and a swift attack X, exert cost, where X is equal to the second card's chi. When removed from play from any method, the golem token goes to the subconscious. I like the design of this. I think there's a lot of things probably not thought about. The fact that this just happens every turn is kind of insane without a cost. So I just looking at this as is, it immediately screams 8 chi. This is like army generator just screaming at me. It's like this is an 8 chi.
Would this be the first good Sahas 8 chi?
Yes, as is, it would be the most broken Sahas 8 chi. Sorry, I forget what I was saying. How would I balance this? I would have this trigger only work if you didn't have a golem already in play, or whatever name we gave this creature. So that way it doesn't constantly spam every turn. The creature's very variable. It could come out as a 3/3, but it could come out as an 8/8. Obviously, that's the highest end of it. And as a... Yeah. But otherwise, I like the design space here.
So my point here, I think I'm going to apply this for 3 of the 4 cards we looked at already for SV. Just keep it simple. You have great ideas, scale them back. I would just hard code the attack and the health for the golem and just make it pump out, a Blackstone golem type of thing every single turn or something similar to that, right? Yeah. I would just, mill yourself 1 and you get that golem. So you're replacing the top card off your deck with a guaranteed summon. The concepts are great. Just scale them back. And is that Ryu on the image here? Like, I totally feel... Oh, is that supposed to be like Frankenstein's monster?
That's a flesh golem, yeah. That's a golem there.
Oh, okay.
Steve sent his comment. The cost is 2 cards off the timeline. I will fight with Steve because he's one of my best friends. No, Steve. An 8/8 for the value of 2 cards isn't gonna balance out. Even a 3/3 for the value of 2 cards off the timeline. That's essentially a Cabas every turn.
Yeah.
Roughly.
No, I think hands down, it's just simplify it. Simplify the card, and I think you got a solid concept going here.
Yeah. Encased in Stone. 5 Chi Affiliation Bellum. Awareness Tsunami. Swift card 12 Aura. For those who don't know Tsunami's awareness, it is 3 in front and 3 more in front of that. Target enemy summoned in EIS's awareness is sent to its owner's subconscious and place a fortification from the sub in place, setting its health at the summon starting health. When the fortification is destroyed, return that summon to its original spot / direction with starting health and exert token.
Okay. So, going back to my comment, you're overcomplicating this. Get rid of that part about the fortification having the same health as the summon's health, and I think besides that, this is decent. Like, I don't see a lot of... you want to do all these, like, fancy things or make it a little bit more flavorful, which is great for RPGs and maybe even miniatures. But when it comes to CCGs, the game's already overcomplicated. We don't want to add those extra levels of nuance unless absolutely necessary. So I think concept-wise, just simplify it a little bit.
For sure. All right, let's move on. We got JP's ideas. We're getting into the text zone. Hope you guys are ready for some text.
Ooh, look at that text.
All right, so my card idea doesn't have a name yet, although I'm leaning towards something to the effects of Divine Blast of Blank. It's a damage spell with awareness similar to a Jalair and a Miss, so all adjacent. The plus around a champion. I think it should have no specific affiliation. Ooh. So Jalair. Chi should be 3 or 4, depending on which balance betters with the level of damage, which would be inflicted on all 4 awareness location and should be 2 to 3 damage. The interesting mechanic I'd like to have this card possess, which I think is different from other cards, is it is a delayed action. In other words, it would be cast, but the effect would be delayed by 3 turns, giving the player a chance to maneuver themselves into a more strategic position, while simultaneously putting their opponents on a timer to get out of harm's way, or kill the champion before the 3rd turn comes around and the spell is triggered. I'm not sure yet how stacking the effect would work. Would it resolve the turn it casts, and then happen without interaction on turn 3? Or would it need to resolve on turn 3, and the turn it's cast is a non-interactive cast? Due to that delay, my assumption on chi value, etc. may need to be tweaked. I do not have enough experience with Genesis to make balanced assumptions. Maybe 2 would be a better cost, or maybe damage would be higher since there's notice of it coming. But I'm guessing that's what all this is for anyways. Got an idea that piques your interest, and then to develop it further together. 100% correct. I love the
right.
I love this delay idea. It is, yeah, it's definitely something we have to sit down, figure out how it works, because it needs strategy for it.
So I gotta say straight off the bat that I am terrified of Divining Blast of Blank. Like, seriously, I've never been more afraid of blank before in my life. No. One, I love that you talked this through. Like, the fact that pitching the cards are great. And I love that a lot of people can just pitch very clean ideas. But I really appreciate, especially the fact that I can't sit down with you and have a conversation about this card. Neither can Alex, not yet at least. I love that you explained your thought process throughout. So huge kudos on that. Mechanically, I think it's cool. Like, yeah. I don't see anything wrong with this. I think it could be fun. It just needs testing, and testing is what Future League is for. Join Future League. If you're not part of Future League, join Future League so you can test out these mechanics. But I think overall, yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
I actually predict that it would be on the higher damage side. Unless you were in control of the effect once it's off the 3rd turn, but it's most likely to be a triggered effect that's going to happen. So it's gonna be very finicky.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. That's my assumptions right now. Those are just assumptions.
Now, this would be super cool in a situation where, like, just say it does 4 damage, right?
Yeah.
And you get yourself in a situation where you're just surrounded by all your opponent's stuff, and then it's about to explode. And then your opponent, in response to it exploding, rampage tosses you or tempo relocates you in the midst of all your creatures, and then you explode and kill all your creatures. Like, that's what Genesis is all about. And so I think a card like this could be super cool in a lot of different environments. So yeah, I would be pretty pumped to test this out.
All right, here's another one from me. Well, I thought it was JP, but this one's from me, so that's okay.
Oh, Alex, you're not supposed to.
Erica human example. I'll be honest, I forgot, but I had actually wanted to sneak in one of my old designs there, Sid, that I sent you guys a long time ago.
Yes.
Just to throw them on there. Erica, human exemplar, 20 to 22 life, 120-ish aura, 1 energy reduction, basic attack 2, exert, conjure, wise by who, exert, and energy 3. I mean, it's obvious, and maybe this is already on the horizon, but a grown-up, or at least an older Erica, with an older, wiser Baihu. The wise Baihu would act as a last defense-type action in higher life to absorb some or all of any attacks targeting Erica head-on. Obviously, I don't know how to balance she would be, and that's what the development part is for. Again, forgive my rudimentary knowledge of Vicious. Something I'm suggesting is out of left field or not at all practical. No, that's cool.
Alex, I expected more than rudimentary knowledge from you.
Jeffrey, no, this is cool. The only reason why I do not expect to see this go any further is because A, it's already a designed card, and we're looking for, some more your guys' unique stuff. And it has to be follow the story. So we can't just throw older Erica in the next set without explanation.
Another thing, as long as I have some control over the game, I'm not a huge fan of the playing with two people being able to play with the same champion from different timelines, unless it's like something like the same champion in a different world, because then the two worlds can't compete against each other except for in not broken, but alternate formats. But when you think of standard format and you're playing within a single world, that champion is that champion. And the champion cards are more or less that champion at the moment that they got the conduit and they became a champion. So I don't plan to create new versions of the same champions. That being said, I'm curious why Erica lost aura in her adult years.
Sad. We'll have to ask Jeffrey that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Oh, didn't move. We didn't move at all. All right, now we're getting to a lot of text ideas, a lot of text from Shahan. So let everybody buckle down because we got a lot to go through. I do like a lot of these ideas though. SS idea, Hundun, the Chaotic Divine, Chi 8 rare, 7 health, affiliation, chaos, bellum, awareness, everything around it. Action, Beckon 25, action, holy dark area attack 6 exert. Hundun deals 6 holy dark damage to everything in its awareness. Send summons damage sway to their controller's subconscious. A. Continuous divine terror. Summons in Hundun's awareness are pacified. Brackets, not champions. B. Continuous challenger. Hundun's holy maw can only be targeted by champions or summons in his awareness. Do we want to go deep into the myth, or should we look at the card first and then we can read the extra myth afterwards?
Okay, so again, remembering what the purpose of today's live stream is, it's to give the people who pitch their ideas tips or tricks to refine their ideas. So as for the myths and everything, Sean, I guess I spoiled that, but Sean, thank you so much. Like your level of detail, that's amazing. Even a little bit on the extreme ends, but I mean, the fact that I can read this and I can learn stuff myself, that's part of the reason why we're doing this contest. I want to grow as a designer, and I know I don't know everything. So thank you so much for that. Is it kind of an oxymoron having, not an oxymoron, but like contradictory, pacifying everything within its awareness and then making it that only things within its awareness can target it?
So the point here is that champions can come in and can be targeted by it. But I see what you're saying. It's a bit extra.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Like I like the pacified. Just it gives pacified everything around it. Yeah, maybe it needs that balancer of not champions. No, even then I would be fine with the champions because champions can still put cards on it. Yeah.
It's a beast.
Oh, apparently these are two different versions. Yes, there's A, Divine Terror. There's A and there's B.
Oh, okay.
There we go. That makes more sense. Thank you, Shahan. I don't know how you know so much about SS's ideas.
Yeah, they're cool. I would love. I love that people are trying to get Pacify up and going. So that's awesome. I would want to test this as. Wait, Does this mean he has more than 10 ideas pitched? What's happening? I feel like someone's skirting the rules here.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's a whole one line. I'm cool with it.
No. Yeah. So as for a card being pitched, I don't see anything wrong with it.
No, it's solid. A crazy awareness, but otherwise, other than that, it's good. That's the one. But I think
Alex, if you pitch this to me, all I would tell you is go test it.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
There's nothing about this that, outside of testing to see how strong it is, there's nothing about this that's wrong. It all fits within Genesis design spectrum.
For sure. My prediction, which will be the future layer testing, is that the cost of this is insane. I think it's going to be refined to your attack probably has to be adjacent, because those extra 4 squares is going to be really expensive for this creature, along with 7 HP, also very expensive. But we'll get around to that in the future. Otherwise, I actually love this. I love this creature and this design. Vetala! Tree 3/4, uncommon, affiliation, chaos, 1 health, awareness, just forward. Action, beckon 10, action, possess the dead. Velacia gains the awareness and activated abilities of target summon in a player's memory and loses this ability. Place the target summon in the subconscious of its owner. Interesting. Continuous tethered. Velacia cannot move unless Velacia has a damage dealing ability.
Okay.
I don't really get the tethered part of this.
So if you have to do the possess the dead ability first to gain an ability that does like a basic attack 2 or something like that, or a cast ability that deals damage, and then the summon can move around like regular summon. So it's tethered in spot until it possesses something.
Gotcha. If that's the
flavor
case,
is beautiful.
Yeah, if that's the case and it's tethered in spot, I think it needs more awareness. This is going to be, otherwise it's like near impossible, I think, to work. Or it's going to be a lot of work to work, which is not bad. Working hard for
its possess the dead ability doesn't target the champion.
Oh, okay. So it comes down, comes in exerted. Turn 2, possesses the dead. Won't be able to move because it's already started its turn. Turn 3, you're finally going to start using it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Then it doesn't need awareness.
When you say it that way, I'm like, oh, there definitely needs to be a change here. I would actually turn the possess the dead ability into a trigger ability. Mm-hmm. Like enters arena and does this.
See, I'm wondering if I mean, maybe we're going too far. If it needs to possess the dead, it almost feels like something that it needs to be sitting on the board. Once something dies on the board, then there's something to possess. Because otherwise, because you're not actually possessing necessarily the dead when pulling from the memories. You're actually possessing a thought thematically from Genesis.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, let us move on. I think it's otherwise very good, solid design to work more on. Yeah.
I want to note on there, I really do appreciate how well there's the tie between flavor and mechanic. Compared to, except for the Encase in Stone ability that we saw from SV, a lot of these abilities, there's still room for interpretation, but like something like this, the flavor is just so beautiful on it.
Oh, and I have a side note for this. Look for abilities that already exist. Yeah, you decided to make tethered, but stationary already exists within the game. True. And you can just have it loses stationary when it gains the awareness, and it just loses all of its abilities when it becomes the new summon.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. The Unicorn! I think this is actually one of my favorites from Shahan. Unicorn, source Abrahamic religion, Christian Bible, sorta. G6, 4 health, awareness, forward. Affiliation, Bellum, action, beckon, 15, swift, holy attack 2, continuous, coveted. Enemy champions and summons around Unicorn cannot activate abilities that do not target Unicorn. I like this. It's a very simple, clean thing.
Very clean.
I think it needs to be balanced, because I could see this drop 1 chi. I could see this at 5 chi. It doesn't.
With those stats, for sure.
Yeah.
Turn this into a 3/3, 5 chi?
Yeah, for sure.
Or if you want to keep it at 6 chi, raise its attack.
Yeah. Jeffrey says the benefit of the word tether, though, is you can make a card called Tethered Swimming. All right, moving on. Azzy Dahaka, G6 uncommon, 2 health, low for a 60. Awareness forward, affiliation phage, action beckon 15, swift attack 2, trigger infested. When Azzy Dahaka is dealt damage, for each damage dealt, place an electric bud from your subconscious in the same spot as it. Then exert all electric buds that were placed this way.
So again, this is one of those things. If you're going to go outside of the bounds of the normality, justify what? Here you're dropping the HP, which for a 6 chi should be 4 HP. You're dropping it down to 2 chi, which sounds like the exact opposite of what you want for this guy.
Yeah. And another thing to remember is currently, if this guy is to die, this trigger vanishes.
Yes, that's true. It's not like magic. So I would actually look into raising this person's chi up to, its health up to 5 or 6.
Yeah, I agree. I would 100% agree.
Keep the attack low.
Boost health, big health, low attack, anti AOE. That's the intention here. I've read over the words below that we're not gonna go over too much, but yeah, I like this. I've actually designed a similar type effect. Yeah. I like it.
And speaking of that, like here, Shahan, you also do a great job at explaining why you're designing the card, like beyond flavor, beyond mechanic. I'm not expecting this from everyone. So everyone who's watching and pitching stuff, don't think that you need to go this far of like explaining the flavor, the why, and everything. We will give you the benefit of doubt. A lot of things. We'll work with you, whatever the case. But I do appreciate it. That's definitely awesome. Something I would expect from the game designers a little bit more often.
All right, moving on. We got a two-parter here. Two-parter. Zhang Tian, Relentless Warrior, G6, rare, 5 health. He's got front left, front right. So for our lingo, that's just called the front. It's the full front row.
Yeah.
It is a affiliation Thymos, action beckon 18 aura, swift attack 3, exert, continuous challenger. Zhang Tian, Relentless, can only be targeted by champions or summons in his awareness. Trigger, Relentless. When Zhang Tian, Relentless dies, places Zhang Tian headless from your subconscious onto the battlefield. Exert it. Part 2. Zhang Tian, headless, G5, common 3 health. Awareness just forward. He doesn't got a hat, he can't see as far. Action, beckon 15, swift attack 2, exert, swift bulwark, exert. Until end of turn, Zhang Tian headless cannot be dealt damage. Whew. I'm running out of saliva.
That's why I always have water with me.
I was not prepared. All right. Well, see, this time I'm the face, you know? I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts here, Sid? We got 2. Should we look at them individually? Should we look at them as a one together? What are your thoughts?
So, the game design team hates me for this, but it's just something that is just a thing about Genesis, and I'm really reluctant of how to change it. But there's no death triggers in Genesis. When a thing dies, it doesn't do anything. So the trigger of Relentless, conceptually cool. As of right now, Genesis is not designed to do something like that. So I would say, love the concept, hold on to it. Maybe something we use in the future. But as of right now, unfortunately, like it's just we can't do it. Now I know Alex is gonna say there is a way to do it.
There is a way to do it. Anyways, we're not gonna go on about that right now. Ignore the death trigger. Let's just look at it. It's base health without the death trigger. A creature with front. Stats can be adjusted because it's a 5 health, 3 damage. Actually, that's decent stats. Never mind. That's fine. And it can only be targeted by champions or summons in his awareness. What are your thoughts?
So first thought. Of all the cards that Shahan has pitched here, I love how clean they are. It's beckon, it's an attack, it's one ability. That's awesome. I love Challenger. I'm actually really sad I haven't thought of a card like that already. That ability, I think, is really, really cool in the scope of Genesis. And because it then makes it that those melee summons can't be taken down by giant scorpion. I'm like, that's cool. That's a really cool concept. So love that. And then again, one of this, like the second part of it, until end of turn, card name can't be targeted. It can't be dealt damage. It's similar to the champion from earlier.
Yeah.
It's just, again, so if a game designer designed it, it's not something that excites me personally.
Yeah, it's kind of just a dork. But I think it makes sense when you're like, the exciting thing about these two designs is that you're like, you have the beefy warrior, he dies, and then you have the dork. Right?
Yeah.
I think this second one is not as exciting because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, when Alex finally introduced death triggers into the game, then I would love to revisit this. But if you got rid of that death trigger, beckon, attack, challenger, I love that. I think that's a cool, clean concept for a card.
We got a nice little image here in the next thing. This is all lore here, but my face is blocking it. There you go. That's how he looks like.
Oh.
I don't know why he's gained a face on his belly. Maybe that's part of the lore, but
Love it.
On. All right, we're on a Night Angel. More just text, no images. Card 1, summon Virus/Ooze, type Phage. This summon splits when it takes damage. Use the replicate function. It'd be just interesting if the is summon was energy based, using an X amount rough enough. Cost 2 energy, where X determines the starting health and strength. When card name takes damage, place 2 copies from competition with health and strength equal divided, rounded down, i.e. energy cost of 4/4 ooze. When it takes damage, creates 2 oozes, then 1 ones. See, I think but if it takes damage, it wouldn't be a 2/2 ooze because they would have less health.
Yeah.
I would clean this up. I would make it a set stat. The X is making it too variable to figure out how it is.
Yeah.
And then when it takes damage, you would then play something from the subconscious that's probably a weaker version of it.
And the one thing I can tell straight from the bat is, like, it would be interesting if the summon was energy based, using an X amount. The card's not designed around the X. And again, it becomes a thing in design as a whole. If you're going to use something, be able to explain why. Like, think about the why behind it. I think it would be really solid if it was just a solid 4/4, and then it dies, creates 2 2/2s, dies, creates 2 1/1s. Again, death trigger is a problem, but outside of that...
So his intention wasn't death trigger. It was on a damage trigger.
Oh, on a damage?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I knew.
So...
Yes.
What if this was 3 different summons,
and
it was a 4/4 that fetches a 2/2, which has the ability to fetch the 1/1?
That's how I feel about it. That's why I would like it just going down the line. Very simple design, easily doable.
Yeah, very easily doable.
All right, let's move on. Oh, card 2. Summon Elemental Thymos or Bellum. The summon never exerts. Crazy. How does the turn end?
Never.
How does the turn end? However, when it attacks and deals damage to itself, would need Blitz to work, unless it doesn't exert after beckoning. Rough example, 3 health, where its attacks cost loss of life. Idea is that the summon can do multiple attacks and burns itself out. Can be used for direct damage or crowd control. 2 to 3 attack, max with an attack value of 1 or 2. Give us more design here. I think you have a lot of thoughts. I don't know if the exertless works within Genesis. Like I was saying, I don't know if the game ends.
Yeah. My personal feeling is that you get to a point where you'll design a card like this, and then someone really quickly in the community, and I would imagine it would be you, Alex, who would break this card super quickly. Because then you just take the summon and you...
River Knee.
I don't know, even as quickly as Breath of Delar.
No, just River Knee. If it only does 1 damage to itself. That's just assumptions. It takes a turn, moves off, moves on, attacks.
Yep.
It gets another turn, moves off, moves on, attacks. It's always going to get in that 1 health and do that damage. Something like that. So just give us a bit more, Will. Develop that one a bit more so we can know more your intentions.
We're terrible at anonymizing.
You can have a card with an attack that exerts, and then a second card that is a second ability that is an attack with a life cost. That now balances that breaking ability there.
Or Swift ability that removes the exert for the cost of health.
That works too. There we go. Okay, let's move on to card 3. Enchantment World. Or Bellum. So enchant Bellum, maybe. Spiritual Guardian has countered attack. When champion the Spiritual Guardian is attached to is dealt damage, Spirit Guardian attacks. Concept of the following of a spirit that protects you while also having an attachment that enables single champion strategies. Design-wise, that's fine. Same thing. I think he talked to me. He just quickly did these for us to talk to. I think earlier today. So yeah, give us more. Design it a bit more.
Yep.
Card number 4: Cycle of Enchantment / Equipments. Champion's named equipment / weapon provides an additional bonus in line with the champion's concept. Supercharged. Cards would come with 2 modes. 1, used by the named champion. 2, used by a different champion. Specific text: only one equipment can be attached to the named champion. Since the equipment adds a bonus to the named champion, attaching more than one would be too strong. Example: Fang's Falchion. If attached to Fang, increase Fang's energy reduction by 1 or 2, while Falchion is equipped. If not attached to Fang, reduce the energy cost of next ability by 4, then remove Fang's Falchion. Conspire: if attached to Con, all attacks played while Conspire is attached gain the range attribute. If not, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, Kun is the flying champion. His attack's not ranged, so he can't attack other flying champions. If not attached, Kun deal 3 range damage to a target in your champion's awareness, then remove Kun's spear. Thoughts? I would say this is not one design, but a lot of designs, as it has to be one that links with every single champion. Yeah, I think...
So I have some thoughts that I would rather share more into next week's. I think when it comes to this, I want to know... I don't think there's anything too bad about this. It's concept-wise, it's fine, right? Like,
yeah,
it's just trying to narrow down each individual card. Now, I will say to other people who are pitching ideas, okay, we let Shahan skirt away some of the rules a little bit. This is a bit extreme because this is now 12 cards and more as more champions come out. So I'm a little less keen to give leeway on this situation. But that being said, if there was just like one or like Sword of J. Lara or something like that, or like, you know, something like that, I'm a little bit more lenient on. Conceptually, I think that's cool.
Yeah. I would, so to bring this concept without the champions, you could have easily just said, give us an enchantment that has 2 types of effects. So this fixes the problem with enchantments that when you have more than one and they don't work together, it fixes itself.
Mm-hmm. Another way of doing the similar thing, but making it autonomous from the champions, is, again, going back to like a card like Sword of Jalar or Weapon of Jalar or whatever. But instead of calling on the champion's name, call on the affiliations. Yes. If your champion is Bellum, it gains X. If it's Thymos, it gains Y. I just gave someone an idea, didn't I? Yeah. Hey, right there. Could it just be 4 cards related, 1 to each? There we go. See? Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All
right, card 5. Arcane. Phage. Add keyword ability of a summon in the arena to a target summon in your awareness. Oh, okay, so it's like, concept recombinating DNA technology with bacteriophage can be used to insert foreign DNA in a host of bacteria cells for cloning purposes. The idea of taking other summon DNA abilities and making them your own. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It's pretty straightforward. I think we'd...
Target summon in card name's awareness gains an ability of target summon.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. It's clean and simple. We'd have to work on it, but otherwise, yeah. Card 6, and also works very much with Phage. That's very Phagey.
Yes.
Our card 6, Arcane, Chaos, Front Awareness. Kill target summon you don't control in card name's awareness, immediate or trigger. Kill summon you control. Concept of hypothesis or vaccination, whereby a cell is able to commit cell death, apoptosis, in order to keep the host alive. So it's essentially you sacrifice one for one of theirs. Yeah, okay. So
I would do it in that order to get the flavor a little bit cleaner.
Yeah. I think you need to. Because I think with this type of card, you also need to have a targeting for your summon. Otherwise, this isn't proper. I don't think it's properly would legally work. Because currently, as it is, it doesn't have a cost. Where I think the cost is supposed to be you killing your own summon. I think. If we look below, there's more information like balances, costs, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go into that.
Yep. Concept is fine. It's clean. It has flavor behind it. Nothing terrible.
Card 7, Summon. Gains the benefit from the number of summons in your memories. Cost reduction gains ability and attributes of either a choice of summon or all. Oh, that's just it. It was really just a concept. It's more of a concept.
Oh, I see.
Benefits for having multiples of the same numbers of summons in your memories. All right, card 8, Deja Vu. Cost, discard, put a card from memories into your thoughts.
No.
Very simple card. Sid hates that stuff.
I'm sorry.
That's all.
It's on the veto list, which is unfortunate. I'm sorry, but just I guess that's something we got to make sure we're a lot cleaner on for in the future. Is what is on the veto list, so people don't just go down these rabbit holes. So for people who don't know, we do have a veto list of abilities, concepts that we're like, no, we will not put this in Genesis, and unfortunately, it's just one of those.
Jeffrey says he's coming for your seat, Sid.
I thought Alex was coming for my seat. This is no, Jeffrey, you're going for Alex's seat.
All right, card number 9, Anti-Decoy Field. Yeah, this is a whale card for sure. Sorry, oops, I meant whoever card. Knight's card. Decoy abilities cannot trigger in the arena while Anti-Decoy Field is in the arena. Would love this to be a swift create, but probably needs a decay value. I don't think this needs a decay value. It's fine. It's simple. We understand what its purpose is.
Yeah, it's clean.
All right, card number 10. A summon or arcane that gains a strong bonus for designing your deck a specific way. Example, designs only built with either odds or even chi values, built with a monocolor, only a specific card type. Example, bonus of reduction in cost. Essentially, companions for magic is the thing there. It's fine. It could be done. I would say this. It's not my favorite of the ones you've given us.
All right. So I actually do have a legit point here. When it comes to designing something, think about what is revealed information at the moment of design, right? At the moment of play. So something like this, where your deck's only built with odds or evens. You're in the middle of a tournament, you go to play this card, and you're like, no, my deck's built with only evens. And your opponent's like, how do I know that? You're like, well, you can look at my discard pile, but you can't look at my deck. There's no way to prove it. So make sure when you're designing a card, you're thinking about what is currently revealed information. Now, if this was something like cards in the discard pile are odds or even, or reveal the top card of your deck, if it's odd or even, it does something. And then that way you can build your deck around an even deck to ensure that this always does its effect, right? So that's the thing I would work on. But besides that, it is what it is. I think Alex, I just want to see it do something. Concept is cool. What are you trying to do with this? Deal damage?
Give me an example. Give me a singular example. All right.
Yes.
We're on to PHAs. Name, Divine Deluge. Chi 8, Awareness, Tsunami's Awareness. Axon and Bellum. Tard type spell. Choose one enemy and one ally within Deluge's awareness. Everything else in the arena takes 5 holy water damage. Costs 32 aura. Theme, going back to the old flood story in Abrahamic religion. It's conceptually could work. Might
be a pitch, this is super clean.
I think this is a little weak of a card though, because you're saving one enemy in the awareness. So this only really works if there's 2 enemies in the awareness. I would rather see this is that you get to choose one ally in the awareness.
You choose an enemy within the awareness, then everything else in the arena takes 5 damage. It's a meteorite where you only save.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's meteorite, but you only save one of your opponent's stuff.
So then I would have it say choose one enemy and one ally within Deluge's within the arena. I think is actually how I'd rather have this worded. So that way you have to choose an enemy, and you have to choose an ally.
Yeah, I'm not totally opposed to that.
Otherwise, the awareness is almost useless in this instance, because you do it across the board. You start on the opposite side. You go, I choose nothing because there's nothing in my awareness. Unless it had targeting, then it would require that.
Yeah, that's true. So the keyword target is very important in this. I think conceptually, so the one thing I really love about this is just how cleanly this is formatted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing this pitch, name, chi, awareness, like everything's just like colons. It's really nice. Makes me a little giddy there. I think, yeah, it's just tweaking around the numbers. Concept-wise, this is pretty. It's pretty. So I got nothing against this as a concept.
Yeah. Raging Nephilim.
I see you laughing at me.
I do that. That's okay. G6.
That's part of your job.
Oh, yeah. Some has to. Range awareness. Affiliation Thymos. Card type summon. Ability detail. Range heavy attack 4. Action speed. Counter attack 4. Health 4. Aura cost 18. Theme. Nephilim. The giant born from the passion between angels and humans in Abrahamic religion. And then there's the next card. So this is
there's 2 cards here, right?
There's 2 cards here, yeah, it looks like. I am not a big fan of counterattack summons with low-ish health, if that makes sense. I know you're probably more...
Yeah.
This is very similar to an Olgi. This is an Olgi. It's left forward, right. Yeah. But it's a 6-chi Olgi rather than a 7-chi Olgi with heavy attack instead of swift attack. That's what this is. This is just Olgi.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I got nothing more to say. It's Olgi.
Yeah. When it comes to this level in the pitch contest, clean, concise, to the point. Only thing I would say is for the ability details to put them onto 2 separate lines, so I can tell that they're 2 different abilities. Besides that, I mean, nothing wrong with this. It's good.
Divine Sanctuary, G6, Awareness None, Affiliation Bellum, Alteration, Swift to create, Ability details, all non-holy damage done on or around Divine Sanctuary is reduced to 0. This alteration has decay.
All non-holy damage done on or around. That's kind of nifty.
Yeah.
If like at first I thought as we were reading into this I would have to critique about it being 2 scope, but no, I think it because it's non-holy.
Yeah,
it's the opposite. This plays really well into some of the themes of yeah. I got nothing.
It makes... All right. And I think
that's it.
That is it. I'll go all the way back to the front so you get a nice visual.
All right. So overall, to summarize some of my thoughts, clarity.
Yeah.
Is clarity. Keeping things simple. Ask yourself if you're adding additional abilities, are these necessary? Do these really play into the mechanic properly? And push boundaries, but make sure you're pushing them for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're not just pushing things for the sake of pushing things. Those, I think, would be my 3 biggest tips from reading all the pitches so far. And my biggest compliment, I would say, is I love the diversity we're seeing, the flavors, the mechanics. Like, overall, it goes to show how much people see as a potential for this game.
For sure.
So that's kind of my summary after reading all that. What are your thoughts?
So I actually already gave like a sort of statement out there. Is like, I think it's great work what everybody's doing. I'm gonna say this weird statement, and it won't actually affect anything with the contest. I think summons are easy to design, so I'm going to be more wowed for everything that isn't a summon that people design.
Yes.
I said that out there because if Sean's watching, he was like, "Here's 10 summons," and I'm like, okay, I can go look up lore and figure out, create cards around the lore, which is what he did. He did it really well though, and there's things I wouldn't have found that he did do. But if you give me, the only person who I think sent us techniques was
AY submitted
right?
some.
Yeah.
SV submitted some.
No techniques.
There were sprinkles.
It's like go out the box. I would love to see if you still have your if you still have pitch amounts try to give me one of each. Try. That would be my thing, because I want to see what you can do. If you can do one summon, I guarantee you could do 10 summons.
Yeah. Summons, the thing is, summons already half done. You have the beckon ability, you have the attack ability.
Jeffrey,
that's already
technically,
50% of your
if
card.
you delete your previous entries and you want to make new ones, you can. If you think they're bad, remove them and you can create a new card.
Yeah.
It's just on Friday, whatever's there is there, and that's what we're going off of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for the people who pitched your ideas tonight and you're like, okay, maybe this idea wasn't as strong as you thought it was, and you don't want to throw your hat into a ring with that, delete it and throw in a new concept. And I 100% agree. Alex, you've only really designed half a set now.
Yeah.
My time designing sets, the thing that always is the hardest, and I'm really impressed when someone makes a really solid one, are like 3 chi spells and techniques.
Yeah.
Those are just the hardest to design. So I think, refine your ideas from the comments we gave tonight. Feel free to go and edit them. What we put up on the slides are not the things we're going to be retaining when we go to review these at the end of the week. As for the pitches, yes, you only get 10. Am I still there?
You're still here.
My
You're
internet.
good. You're good.
Okay. You only get 10 entries. We wanted to give you enough space to kind of pitch things, but not kind of overwhelm the system. You get 10 entries, and I'm going to let everyone know who's watching tonight, this month was supposed to be a dry run to see how well things would go. Would there be interest? Is this something people wanted to do? And the overwhelming answer is that yes, there are people who play the game who very much want to be part of a contest like this. So our goal is actually we're going to be doing this as a rolling contest. Every month we're going to do this again. And if you get an idea in this month that you think you want to refine for next month, then feel free to pitch it again next month. And each month we're going to do something a little bit different. We might just focus specifically on a card type or on a lore or on an affiliation. We might narrow things down onto a chi level.
Yeah.
We're going to do something a little bit different. This month was to make it completely open, but each month we're going to make it a little bit more challenging in different ways. And then the other thing was that someone mentioned in Discord that we did put up onto the website saying that we are looking for you to kind of narrow things down to Abrahamic religions, bacteriophage, neuroscience, and DNA mutations. But it's still open. It says right after that. However, if you want to go down another approach, all we ask for you is to share your research. And that's what we saw very clearly from Shahan. A lot of really great research shared there. And we want to learn more about what you're talking about. Even Night Angel pitched some stuff and talked about some of the research there. Very clean, I very much appreciate that. So that's my only ask. If you're going to go outside of that scope, even if you stay within that scope, share your research, give credit where credit's due, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, I don't know how you feel, Alex, but I'm super overwhelmed with how many different and great ideas are coming out of this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's awesome.
There was a few questions. So Steve asked, if we refine old deals, are those new entries or still old entries? Those are still old entries. As long as it is the same card, if you've even if you rename it or something, we're gonna see that it's the same card.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest removing the old card. It's just easier for us to see. But even then, you don't have to, because it was like the thread with right here, AY. He added his original, and there was actually, I think, 3 or 4 of these. He actually changed this a lot till today, and he could still change it. Now, if he watched, we did suggest maybe not doing a champion and holding this for we might do a champion month.
Yeah. It's always possible. Though I will say, at that point I am kind of struggling where we'll draw the line between something that the winner of the championship gets.
Yeah. That's
different and unique and powerful in their own scope compared to people who enter this contest.
For sure.
However, that being said, I'm not going to say no to anything. I'm just going to say we need to figure out where we draw that line in the sand and say, this we want to reserve.
He's not saying no to anything. Put all those death triggers in. Send them in right now. I'm kidding.
I will go onto the website and probably at some point tonight and add in that veto list onto the card pitch landing page if you haven't seen that yet. So by tomorrow, swing back to the website and see what is on our veto list so that you don't accidentally design something in that space.
Yeah.
Also, I really hope we didn't offend anyone in today's
I hope you offended everybody. You go home and you do better.
Oh, goodness. So,
good cop, bad cop, right, Sid?
Good cop, bad cop. Sure. Yeah. Is there any other comments or questions that we should cover before we wrap up here?
Jeffrey said he's going to keep submitting something terrible until we accept it out of sheer annoyance. I told him to bring it on. Sean said he learned a lot looking at the world's mythologies, and he thanked us for making the contest. Thank you for participating.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think for all our goals or all of our strategies, things are going the way better than we had expected at first, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. I think we should wrap it up there. Before we leave, especially since we're on Alex's computer, you don't have the slide for the Patreon members. No. So I want to give a huge shout out to all our Patreon members, our supporters. I'm trying to remember them off the top of my head. I say them so often. So I know there's Steve, Will, Good Time Games, which is a new Patreon supporter, Andrew, Gunther, there's a sixth person that I'm missing. I'm so sorry if I'm forgetting your name right now. And I know there's so many other, because we're up to like 26, 27 Patreon members total. So, all right, 1 second. I'm just, my niece just stepped in. So yeah, I know we have like 26, 27 Patreon members, and we really appreciate your support. So thank you so much to everyone who helps us out.
And thank you for watching. I think we lost Sid.
All right, thank you for watching. Yes.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.